welcome to Let's Talk Finances with Dr. Nina White. Today, we're continuing our budgeting series by diving deeper into the behavioral side of your money. So listen, get your pen, your pad, go ahead on and get your family in the room, and let's get started, okay? Last week, we introduced the 50-30-20 rule. Do you all remember that? The 50-30-20. A simple and effective financial structure, right? So let me just kind of, if you don't remember, I want to bring it back to your remembrance. The 50-30-20 rule, it was 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% was for savings and debt. Remember that. Remember, it was when you did your take home, you calculated everything, your take home. 50% of that was going for your needs, 30% was going for your wants, and 20% was for your savings and debts. So, I hope y'all ready, because we're diving deeper. But even with this structure, many professionals find themselves still overspending, drifting off track, or feeling financially stretched. How many of you ever done that? Even with good income, it really doesn't matter. That's because strategy alone is not enough. You might understand the psychological behind your spending. I want you to understand that. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Okay? Y'all know I got to have my notes. I got to stay on track. So let's talk about spending triggers. What is a spending trigger? What do you think that is? I'm going to tell you. A spending trigger is not just a bad habit, but it is a psychological cue that activates the emotional or conditioned spending behavior. Sometimes you wonder, like, why do I spend the way that I do? But sometimes you don't understand it. It's a psychological cue there. Sometimes for high income earners or low income earners, it really doesn't matter where you are, but triggers often look like this, right? Stress-driven spending. What do you think that is, right? Stress-driven spending is emotional spending. It can involve buying things just to cope with how you feel. You ever are just out and about and you see something and emotionally you don't think about it. We just spend money just unnecessarily, right? Without any type of intentions. And so we have to be mindful of those things. It looks like anxiety. It looks like boredom. It looks like impulsive buying. Sometimes we don't think about things. We do it, just react really, really quickly. You ever been somewhere and let's just use the car lot dealership, for instance. You're just, going by and just you want to go look sightseeing, just go test drive a car, and here comes the dealer and they're trying to just get you, and they're telling you everything about this vehicle. And if you buy it now, right now, today, we'll take this off and we'll take that off. That's stress-driven spending. That's impulsive because you're acting on your feelings out of emotions, right? So those are the type of things you want to stop, and you want to really evaluate things. Because again, you're working the 50-30-20 rule. That's what we want to make sure we continue to do. Next, it could be a lifestyle inflation. When I say lifestyle inflation, it could be from income rising, spending rises, often unintentionally, right? Say you got a promotion on your job. Someone graduated. You may have graduated. Your child may have graduated. Unexpected windfall. Hey, you might have hit the lottery. That is a lifestyle inflation. You just all of a sudden got an abundance of money. And now you're like, I got to spend it. You don't have to, but you get excited and you want to spend the money. Even when you get a certain amount of money, and you're looking to purchase a home, anything, go on a trip, you realize that I've gotten this amount of money and I want to do something with it. The emotional side of it is we don't take in consideration the things that we still need to do, right? So you go ahead on and you get excited. And listen, I can testify to it. I've done it. You've probably done it. You know, you got a bonus from work and you say, oh, I got this extra money. I want to do this. But you forgot all about the plan you had in place. And so you go away from that and then you say, well, I'm going to go on this trip. I'm going to go on a shopping spree. I'm going to go purchase my new car that I always wanted. I've been wanting to upgrade. I'm going to, buy some more furniture, just whatever it may look like. But you forget about the 50-30-20 rule. You forget that you're still working that. You forget that you got some debt that you're still trying to get out of, and you could have took that bonus and applied it to that. But again, it's just the lifestyle inflation. You're excited. And so you're not taking the time to stop and pause, right? The next thing, social influence and networking expectations. High income circles that you're in come with a certain type of lifestyle and expectations. You can be, promoted on your job and now you're maybe a manager or assistant manager or something, and now you got to go to different conferences or whatever that may look like. I myself are in certain boards that I sit on, and I have to go to certain conferences in different places. And so I'm meeting people, we're networking. And so in that space, you're having conversations and they're talking about what they're doing in their business or individually, what they do. And so now you have that social influence, because if they can do it, then I can too. But you don't know what they did to get where they are. So therefore, you got to still take a moment and just sit and reevaluate things. What I find is sometimes you become successful and people don't realize the struggle that you went through to get there, right? I'll hear people all the time say, oh, you got your own business. Oh, I know you did this and you did that, and you're well known, but you don't know what I did. You don't know what steps I took to get where I am. And so when you begin to tell your story, that social influence, sometimes it'll help a person, right? So remember, social influence, it can make you say, well, let me try to fit in, but you don't want to do that, right? Not right away, but just being around other people that are in another income bracket and, just networking. As business owners, we're going to different events and we're networking with other business owners. You want to take the time, again, and still not go and spend unnecessary money. When you go on these different trips, set a budget. 50-30-20, but set a budget. Even in business, we got to set budgets. We have to be mindful of how much money that we need to have, considering the travel, considering the hotel stay, considering food while we're there. You have to take those things into consideration. So you still want to pause and you want to take time to reevaluate, time to focus on that budget. Don't allow other people to influence you to do something negative. You want it to help you do something positive. The other thing is convenience. You all remember last week I was talking about convenience, and you have, access to things on your phones now. COVID made us lazy, right? So now we have access to things and we're able to just spend from our phone, have it delivered to our homes. It's now convenience. Fast solutions for busy lives, often at a significant markup. You ever looked at, hey, again, like I stated, COVID made us lazy. You're on your Instacart app, and you know that if you order your food off of Instacart for your home, groceries, the price is going to be increased. But if you went to the store, you know you're not going to pay the prices on the actual app, but it's convenience. There's a corner store from your house. You might need some milk. They may charge you $6 for the milk, but if you went to the store, to the grocery store, it might be $4. It's the convenience. It's the same thing. Stop, pause before you purchase. Take a moment and just pause and just say, is this something that I really need to do right now? And you want to take that time and just think about some stuff. Pause before you make big purchases. I'm going to take me a swig of water. So with that, convenience, you have convenience. A lot of times we don't think about that. What's next about a spending trigger? Luxury emotional compensation. Buying to feel successful. What'd I just say? You are at events, you're trying to fit in. You can't live someone's lifestyle because they worked hard to get where they are. They made a lot of sacrifices. So you want to treat yourself, counteract with stress. Triggers appear to be subtle, but they accumulate, right? So you just want to be mindful. Luxury. My dream car is a Jaguar. That's my dream car. But I'm not in the place to go purchase it yet. But I'm going to go to the dealerships and I'm going to test drive my Jaguars so I can know how it feels to sit behind a wheel. I have a vision. I have a dream. And when I get to that place, then I can purchase that vehicle. So you want to take time to just stop. Again, I cannot dive any deeper on pausing. You have to pause because we act out of emotion and we got to stop doing that with our finances. Anything, you got all kinds of, you have like when you go on a trip and they want you to buy into timeshares. I have no problem with timeshares, but you get so excited, you go and you see these things, and now it's like, I can do that, I can do this, and then you done signed your name, and now you have took on another bill, and then when you get back home and everything has calmed down, and you say, oh my goodness, how am I gonna do this? But now you've entered into a contract for however long it is, because you didn't pause for a moment. You didn't take the time to just sit still and say, well, thank you for, showing me this, but right now it's not wisdom for me to purchase. It's not wisdom for me to do that. You have to take time and just pause. So let's talk about how spending triggers impact your financial stability. Y'all gonna hear so much about this. You're gonna be saying, oh, this woman, stop talking about spending and time. I need you to understand the importance of savings, the importance of taking care of your needs first, the importance of doing it. Then we're going to get into our wants. I had someone that watched this segment last week send me a message and say, I got the 50 and 30, but I'm not into 20 yet. I said, it's okay. You're working it. You're working it. Keep working it. You're going to get to that place because, one, we got to get out of debt before we can start saving money. Okay? So triggers distort financial strategies in ways most people never notice them. Again, how can you, when you're looking at everything and you're saying you have a strategy in place, but you're overlooking it, right? You're not paying attention. Again, that's where those triggers come in at. You want to make sure that we don't overspend. Overspend flows into turmoil, categories, and reduce wealth building. We want to get to the place where we can live financially free, right? You want to be able to get to that place. You want to also reduce available capital for investment. This money could earn returns, getting lost in emotional spending. I have people who do investments, and sometimes they may not understand investments, and they may talk to someone and go for the highest thing, but again, they're acting out of emotional spending. But if you have a great financial advisor, a great investment broker that can explain it to you, they're going to know based off of your budget and your means what you can truly spend. The other thing is creating blind spots in financial planning. A lot of time, high earners, they often overlook small leaks that grow into large losses. They're little because you make so much money, so you don't realize that you could be missing something somewhere, right? So let's, for example, you have your home, you just purchased your new house, and there could have been something that may have happened. I'm not even going to say even a new home. It could just be your current home. And there's something major that needs to be done. Let's say a plumbing. Let's use plumbing, for example. You hear the drip. And you say, oh, I'll get to it. It's not that bad. You hear the drip. Now it's starting to, you hear a stream. And now you're looking under your cabinets and things like that. And when you heard the drip, you should have called the plumber. But you had other plans with your finances. So this kind of leaked through the cracks and you overlooked it. And then you went on to something else. And so say, for instance, you had another issue. Maybe it's wintertime. Maybe your heat starts going out. So the plumbing issue is like something small. The heat is something big. And so you say, well, let me replace my unit. But then you still forget about the plumbing. And now there's something you're not thinking about. So now you go further. You say, okay, when the plumber finally comes out, they say, oh, we have to dig under the ground and we have to do this. And you say, I should have did this when I just heard the drip. That is overlooking. So now you're spending larger expenses because something you could have took care of when it was in the beginning stages, right? Undermine, long-term wealth goals. Emotional decisions sabotage strategic intention. You have to be mindful. Again, let's focus back to the 50-30-20 rule. You gotta take care of your needs first. It is so imperative because we're trying to build for our families, for our businesses. We don't want to have to be in a place where we got to go take out loans or borrow money from family and friends. You want to be able to be abundantly supplied. You're going to hear me talk about things. I am going to talk about being blessed and to be a blessing to other people. You can't do that if you're in debt. You can't help anyone if you're broke. So get to the place where you're actually helping yourself be better so that you can help someone else. Many of you all may not believe this way, and it's fine, but we're supposed to leave an inheritance for our children's children, right? And when people ask me about M&D accounting, I tell them, they say, your name is Nina White, but your business is called M&D. What does that mean? So I let them know the M and the D stands for my children's name. And so I'm leaving this for my children. There's an inheritance being built for them so that they don't have to grow up like I did. Growing up in poverty, seeing my mother being a single parent, eventually getting married at a later time. But she was a single parent, raising 2 children, working 2 jobs. We were latchkey kids. We came home from school, it was just us at the house. And we didn't know that our mother was struggling until we got grown, of course. But to see that, I said, I'm going to stop. The buck stops here. I don't want to have my children struggle like I did growing up. And so even in business, even Even in business, it's the same thing. You want to be able to teach the fundamentals of money. And that's what I love to do. That's my passion. So it's important that you take a hold of this. Take a hold of understanding what building wealth looks like, right? There's different levels. And as we continue on through the different segments, you're going to hear, I'm going to dive deeper and deeper and deeper. But I just want you to really understand that you got to get yourself on a budget. You got to get yourself a plan. You have to write it down. It is very important, because if you see it, your numbers in black and white, I'm telling you, it's going to make a difference. Because when we don't see it, it's in the back of our heads. We're not thinking. We don't even realize how much money we're truly spending. As I told you last week, majority of our money is spent on entertainment and food. Literally, it's the beginning of the year. It's January. It's the beginning of the year. Review your 2025. Just take the time. That's why I tell you, get your pen and your pad. Take the time and reevaluate 2025 and just see how much you spent. Tax season's coming up. You got to be prepared. You want to be ready. You want to be ready so you don't have to get ready. And that is the whole reason why I'm doing this, because I want you to be ready. I want you to understand the fundamentals of finances and how to build, right? Bring your children, teach them, sit at the table, have these meetings. It's very important. So how do you fix this? How do you fix it? You say, okay, Dr. White, you told me how to set a budget. You told me, what ways I can probably avoid or what to look out for, what type of cues, psychological things going on as far as, emotional spending or it being convenient to me, all of that stuff. Okay, I got it. Okay, so now that I got all of that, how I fix it? What I supposed to do now? Okay, I can tell you that. These are going to be some strategic tools that work especially well for professionals and high income earners. First one, conscious spending framework. You got to be conscious. Make sure that you will attach purpose to every single dollar that you spend. Does it have a purpose? Give your money an assignment. What do you want your money to do for you? Oh my goodness, I can't tell you enough. When I got my own personal financial planner to be able to help me understand this, it's like a light bulb went off, because you got to give your money an assignment. What do you want your money to do? You want your money to grow and let it return back to you, right? So give it an assignment. What does that look like for you? Is the assignment to eventually purchase a home? Is that assignment eventually to purchase a car? Is that assignment for your money to put away for your children when they get ready to go off to school? What does that look like for you? Give your dollar an assignment. Do I need to spend this much money on this? Is there a way to get around it? You need to make sure that you give your dollar, give it an assignment, okay? Next, automated financial systems. You all remember me talking about this last week. I stated that you have subscriptions and things like that you may forgot about, and money just coming out of your account for no apparent reason. Automated investments, retirement contributions, debt reduction. Remove the emotional decision making. Put things on auto draft and things like that, but make sure you also document it, notate it, put it on your calendar that you remember that this is coming out of your account at this time. Keep up with it. Remember, like I said, review your numbers. Don't wait till the end of the year. You want to do this as much as possible on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, what works for you. But you want to do it. Get yourself a financial advisor, sit down with them on a quarterly basis, let them go over the numbers with you so that you can understand that. Trigger mapping, track patterns. When do you overspend? What mood are you in? And who are you with? Listen, I'm going to say that one again. When do you overspend? What mood are you in? And who are you with? You got to look at that. Most of the time people overspend come tax time, because now they're getting a large money back refunds. And so they're overspending. The mood, you excited, you emotional, like what's going on? You need to think about it. And who are you with? Who are you with? Are you with some people that just impulsively buy? Or are you with someone who thinks about before they purchase? Who are you with? Oh my goodness, that one right there, light bulb, that one went off, light bulb. Strategic substitution. Replace emotional spending with actions that support well-being and clarity. Meditation, exercise, journaling. I do that for sure. Reading, personal development. Get involved, do something. Find another way to redirect your overspending. You got to make sure that you're doing that. The other thing, decision delays. What I say in the beginning, pause before you purchase. Take 72 hours and just think about it before you go and make a luxury purchase. Take 24 hours and just, regular, discretionary spending. Take a moment. Do I really need this right now? Is this something I need right now? And reduce the impulse. These things you want to do, decision delays. Slow down. Because the salesman's job is to sell right now. That's their job. You don't have to buy right now. And you can tell them that, but you got to put no in your vocabulary. You have to do that. You want to make sure that you are doing that. So again, pause before you purchase. I cannot stretch that enough. I want you to understand that you need to pause. Because we react out of emotions, and we gotta stop. Focus back on that 50-30-20 rule. Focus back on it so that way you don't get off track. And it's okay if you do. It's truly okay if you get off track, but get back on track. So again, anything you do for 21 days or more becomes a habit. So listen, I'm telling you, I want you all to really just take the time and write it down. Make it plain. Go through your numbers. It's the beginning of the year. You got a fresh start, fresh year that you can get your finances in order. So as I get ready to close, I'm telling you, I truly enjoy teaching you about finances. So if you have a question or a comment that you would like to be featured on our next episode, email me at contactus@mdaccounting.org. Or you can text us at 844-436-2788. Again, that number is 844-436-2788. And if you're ready to elevate your financial planning with professional guidance, or if you'd like to book me to speak at your upcoming conference or event, just reach out to M&D Accounting at any time. You can call our office at 1-877-839-7778, and we'll get someone to be able to help you, direct you, and whatever that needs. Oh, make sure when you send your comment or your question in, leave your name and where you're watching from so that we can acknowledge you when you do that. I have enjoyed this so much. I thank you for watching Let's Talk Finances. Share it with someone. Tell someone, hey, she's on. Make sure you tune in every week, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. right here on WHIG TV. I look forward to you, and I see you all next Thursday.